Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This article comes to you guys from investing.com. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So I haven't checked yet, but T-Mobile stock is likely up on this news that dropped a few hours ago. T-Mobile sees stronger subscriber growth than its wireless peers. That's big news for T-Mobile, and that's big news for investors and shareholders because that's what T-Mobile has been thriving on is growth, and that's what the market likes, and that's when T-Mobile stock tends to increase. So, and this comes off of the news of the Starlink hacking situation. So I will add in because I'm not surprised by this at all. I knew T-Mobile would have the most growth. We all saw what happened to Verizon. They pretty much fired their CEO because of bad Q3 performance. So generally speaking, T-Mobile outgrows the competition 2 times. So no surprise from that. But what I will add in, once T-Mobile gets the security and privacy under control, eventually, they're going to be a force to reckon with. And I know some of you are not gonna want to hear that, not gonna want to understand it, but T-Mobile is on the path of being the biggest wireless player in the industry. That's what the numbers are projecting. That's where it's heading. And T-Mobile has so much growth left, upside in those segments. They're number three today, number three in wireless business share, a distant third. AT&T is second, Verizon is first. So that's more growth for T-Mobile to go and get. And they have every asset today, per the new CEO, to unleash the next round of the Un-carrier, whatever that may be. But I also think at the current juncture of where T-Mobile is, the new CEO that came in, Srini Gopalan, is the perfect fit. They couldn't have chose anyone better at this juncture of the company. Taking the company into a digital first approach, more efficiency towards the balance sheet. They couldn't have picked anyone better that has a competitive background, fierce, quick on his feet. They just couldn't have picked anyone better at this time. And there's several people that have messaged me and they've done a little research. They looked at some of the older presentations and they told me Verizon and AT&T aren't ready for this new CEO. This new CEO doesn't believe in just pure marketing hype and then growing the customer base that way. He believes in pure investments, the hard grind, and that will fix your EBITDA and your NPS scores. That's what he believes in. And that's the same playbook he took to Germany, to Europe, and it worked. He turned around the companies that way. And if he brings that attitude and that strategy to the US, that's going to be very, very tough for AT&T and Verizon to combat. They're going to have to become innovative and disruptive in their own rights for those two companies to offset and defend T-Mobile's offense in the business sector, small market and rural areas, and then still in the top 100 markets. T-Mobile is still growing there too. Even though they have been able to get to 50% share in the top urban markets, they're still growing in those markets. So that's not going to slow down. But let's briefly look here what we got. So RBC Capital Markets upgraded T-Mobile to outperform from sector performance, saying there's a strong subscriber growth momentum and also on benefits from its recent US Cellular acquisition. I made that video yesterday. Big first mission for the new CEO is to oversee the integration of US Cellular. I don't think subscriber growth will be a benefit upfront for this integration. I think it'll be a financial balance sheet benefit. Because first you have to integrate, and T-Mobile hasn't even gotten started on that yet. So they will endure some churn from this transaction. We all know there's going to be some US Cellular customers, quite a bit, that are going to churn. They're going to leave. And I personally don't think it'll affect T-Mobile's overall churn because the US Cellular footprint is just too small. So even if they lost 80% of the US Cellular subscriber, it wouldn't even hurt T-Mobile's churn one bit. Remember, T-Mobile said it themselves, and this happens to all carriers. They in some cases, they lose millions of customers a quarter, and the churn is still at 0.90, 0.91. So, but they should be focused on stopping the bleeding where need be, right? If there's just too many US Cellular customers leaving, you want to make sure you keep a good amount of them because that'll help your synergies and everything else that you forecasted. So the brokerage kept its price target at 270, which is around 22% upside, and said T-Mobile shares trade at their lowest valuation in more than a year at about a 9.9 times expected 2026 EBITDA. So that's where Srini Gopalan will come in, and he will take T-Mobile to that next level on the balance sheet, even more aggressive and higher than what they are today. Again, I'm no financial expert, no stock expert. Just want to put that out there. Don't sell, trade, buy any stock based on my opinion in this video. But it's what we've come to know from T-Mobile for a long time now on a quarterly basis. They just have upside and they continue to outgrow the competition. RBS's channel checks suggests T-Mobile maintain aggressive customer acquisition in the third quarter, offering an $800 switcher incentive while rivals scale back promotions before reinstating them in September. So Verizon had a period where they increased price. That hit on customer bills during the quarter. There was that period where they took away loyalty discounts, and it really affected them. It affected Verizon in a bad way. I still don't know how Verizon will rebound from that. They projected and guided for this year they will be postpaid positive for the year. I don't see that happening. And if they do become postpaid positive, they're going to have to give away the house during the fourth quarter. They're going to have to give everything and massive acquisition costs to be postpaid positive for the year. But we'll have to see how big the losses are for the third quarter. While industry-wide subscriber growth is expected to moderate, RBC said T-Mobile is positioned to gain share in high-churn environment with incremental marketing spending accounted for its forecast. T-Mobile said it plenty of times. They like jump balls. If the churn is high, the switching pool is high, T-Mobile plays in that and they win. They win every time. They said if it's a high switching environment, they win. If it's a low switching environment, they win too. They grow regardless of the market condition. So that's something to note as we move forward through these next several quarters. As we start discussing more and more, will T-Mobile surpass Verizon on subscriber growth or total subscribers? And at one point they will. It's going to happen. Verizon has yet to turn the company around. They've been taking losses for several quarters now. Unless this new CEO, and we'll talk about that in a later video, unless that new CEO is just going to take the company in a totally different direction, which in my opinion, he has to. If he's going to be more or less the same as Hans, then you might as well keep Hans as CEO. There's no need for change. So if he makes drastic change for the company, then maybe we will have to discuss and change strategies, not strategies, but change opinions. But for now, I mean, T-Mobile is on path to surpassing Verizon total subscriber customers, and maybe taking some significant share on business too to get closer to the fair share of what AT&T and Verizon have today. But let me know your thoughts on this. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.